Kat, did you find the place okay?
Yeah, I found my way. I mean, I've been here a few times now, so I
Right.
made my way all right.
Okay, so how's everything been since last week?
Well, I'm struggling a little bit. I got a new dilemma to deal with, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do about it, but I know something has to be done. Having little issues with my mother. Like I said, I had to move out with her. She and I was living together, and with my younger sister.
Mm-hmm.
I've been her financial support for a while. She keeps getting herself into trouble, and I keep having to bail her out. And she got her house closed on about a month ago, and me, my sister, and her all had to move out into an apartment. And everything's in my name because she has no credit and she can't put anything in her name. So it's really all, if she messes up, it messes it up for me a lot. And at some point I want to get to a point where she's not depending on me anymore, but it's really becoming a struggle. And I'm 26 years old now. My mother is 59, and it's like, when are you just going to be able to stand on your own 2 feet and stop destroying everything?
Right. So it sounds like you kind of taken on a big load here. So now you're taking care of your mother and your sister.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So tell me a little bit more about your sister. What age is she? Is she contributing to the bills? Are you taking care of everybody?
Well, my sister's 23. She is a full-time teacher. She's pretty stable. She takes care of herself. She's a 23-year-old girl. I mean, she pays the rent is all split between the three of us.
Okay.
Basically, my mother isn't capable of living on her own. Like I said, like, my name has to be on the lease, or she has nowhere to live. So my sister didn't want to leave me with my mother, so she came to help me. So basically, the three of us are living there. The two of us, my sister and I, are living there to take care of my mother.
Okay. So I know you told me before that your goal was to move out in approximately about a year. You said. So what are some other options for your mother? Are you the only one that can help her?
Well, I have 3 sisters. The one who lives with me, who's helping.
Right.
I have an older sister who has removed herself from the problem. I mean, for good reasons. I mean, who wants to be carrying their mother financially? Right. And so she removed herself from the situation so she didn't have to be the sole one worrying about it.
Right.
And then I have a younger sister who's only 20. I mean, she's still in high school. In college. She goes full time. So she's not really going to be able to help. I don't really know how to do it, but I want to find a way to get my mother self-sustainable. I mean, she has a job, she works full time, the resources are there for her to be stable. It's just, for some reason, she messes up, and then she knows she's got, someone to fall back on.
Right.
And until I remove that support,
right.
So
let's think of some ways that we can make that possible for her, so that it's not, you're not the only one who you feel responsible for taking care of her. Because from what I know about you, you're very kind-hearted. You like to make sure that everybody, especially your family, is well taken care of, and you don't want to leave them high and dry.
Right.
And I think that sometimes that gets in the way of your personal life.
Right.
You constantly being worried about everybody else.
Right. I mean, I'm 26. I want to start my own family. I have my boyfriend and his daughter, and eventually I want to start my own family with them. But if I'm supporting my mother, that's not gonna be a possibility. I mean, I can't take care of her and take care of my own family at the same time. It's not going to work out.
Right. So to me, it sounds like you're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Mm-hmm.
You have your own personal goals and things that you plan on doing here soon.
Right.
But you also care about your mom. So it's like, what do I do?
Right.
So let's go ahead and think of a couple ways that we could get your mom in a position to where she could be self-sufficient and to where you won't be, the one who has to make sure that she has a roof over her head.
Right.
So what do you think, your mom's staying with you now.
Right.
What are some options that you think would help her, your mom better than I do, would help her be able to stand on her feet?
Well, I mean, sadly enough to say, I haven't talked to her about it yet. And I think that's a good place to start off, sit her down and be like, Mother, in a year, I'm going to leave, and I'm not going to leave. Caroline's the younger sister who lives with me now. Like, I'm not going to leave Caroline here to take care of you. So we have to set up a plan for you to be stable in a year. And I mean, a year is a good amount of time, but I know that a year trying to get yourself financially right isn't enough time. But I think she's going to have to accept, some consequences. She's going to have to accept some compromises somewhere. She's not going to be able to live in the nice apartment she lives in now. She's going to have to accept something smaller, something less expensive. And I think that's just going to be how, I'm just going to have to stick with that and not accept, not fall down with her with it. Talking to her is probably the best route to go, first of all.
Right.
And then there's probably like some kind of financial coaches out there that I can probably set her up with.
Right. Or, just say, if you could help her even sit down and say, this is what your finances are. Why don't we put this away so that, you could have a,
right.
A down payment or whatever to be able to, to live on your own. And now what I wanted to ask you is, do you think your mom would be open and receptive of these ideas, or is she just going to, be like confrontational, like nasty about it?
I think it's all about on the approach I go with her. If I go with a look, I'm not living with you forever. You got to figure this shit out. But
right.
If I go with her and be like, okay, well, let's think of like a plan and maybe not put it all on her. Maybe not be like, look, this is where your shortcomings are, but just be like, oh, look, I want to be away and do this on my own in a year. Let's think of what we can do for me and think of what we can do for you.
Right.
So I think if we just gently break it to her, I might be able to get her to go along with it.
Right. Well, I think that would be a good start. I definitely think that you deserve to have your own, your own home and be able to have your own privacy.
Right.
Something similar like this has happened to me before, and I know it puts you in a tough spot to have to. You don't want to leave your family just hanging.
Right.
But then again, on the other hand, you have worked hard to be able to have your own space,
right.
and you deserve that.
Right.
So I think that that would be a great idea for you to try and, just get an idea of when you get an idea of how she's going to perceive this. Like, if you
think about it from her perspective.
Right. And I think that would be a good start. So, are you having any other issues in any other areas, or is it? I know the last time we talked, you were having issues as far as your work was concerned. Have you straightened all that stuff out?
I've come to terms with it. I'm very close to finishing my degree.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
I know, right? I'm very excited about it.
You look excited.
Yeah.
You're like shining.
Yep. Really like it when you get to that point where you can accomplish things. So, one more thing on track.
Right.
I'm almost to my degree, so I'm starting to look for jobs in the field that I want to be in. So hopefully I won't have to be where I am now. And just knowing that possibility is coming soon, it makes it easier to deal with not wanting to be where I am.
You don't feel so stuck.
Right, exactly. I don't feel stuck in the hole. I don't feel trapped there. I don't feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. Like, now I see where I'm going. I see, like, it's right there. I'm almost done.
I can completely tell, like, just from the way you're talking about it, because I know before that you did feel stuck, and you were just like, how am I going to get out of this?
Right.
I need to do this to pay my bills, but I want to do this for my future. So it was like you were caught up in a really bad situation.
And it's really soon. I'm hoping at the end of the summer that those two are going to overlap. I'm going to be able to do something for my future while making money doing that. So it's going to be, I'm excited about it.
Well, that's great. That's great. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
So, okay, well, I just want to go over a couple things. So, you were having an issue with your mom. You having to be the one responsible for her to make sure she has a place to live, and you don't want to continue to keep pretty much like babying her because you want her to be able to stand up on her own 2 feet so that you can live your own life.
Right.
So what you decided to do was try to approach her about this as gently as possible and see how she reacts. And like you said, just make sure that you're not saying it like, you need to do this because you're irresponsible, and just, like put it to her gently. Like, well, I want to do, this is what I want, so how can we work this out for all of us? Okay, so I want you to come back next week and tell me how everything went.
All right, sounds
All
great.
right,
See you
thanks,
next
Kat.
week.
See you
Thank
next
you.
week.